it's not going to help.
Teaching is not for everyone. Love can make you, I don't know, so you don't think straight.
I should introduce myself. Ethan.
I'm Nancy. Nancy Miller. You might have read about me. My name's Danielle.
So I can explain it, but it'll only make things worse.
Those kids were horrible. I can't say a single nice thing. And their parents were just... I never could put it into words. Some people shouldn't be allowed to have children. He was the best thing that ever happened to me. There was one little boy who would kick me as hard as he could. Every chance he got. I couldn't believe it when he asked me out. It was like ridiculously painful. Every day, every time, kicking me. And he was one of the better kids. If that gives you any idea of how horrible they all were.
I think if you could have seen this fire. I mean, it might not be your thing, but it was seriously impressive. Just an amazing fire. Big and hot, waves of heat so you couldn't look right at it. You had to look away. He was the absolute love of my life. I didn't look away, though.
It's hard when you decide that you're really going to try and help people. Become a teacher. Take a job where you can make a difference. Where you can try to make a difference. It's hard when that turns out to be impossible. After months of dating, we decided to move in together.
So like I said, I can explain it. She was cheating on me. That afternoon there was some sort of accident at the local school. They sent everyone home. I usually worked through most of the nights, but I came home early.
Big decision to live together, but it felt right.
And he was there. In my bed. With my wife. Just crazy sex. I walked in and I stood there for a while and they didn't see me. I stood there for even longer and they still didn't see me. They were so into... So I turned around and walked out. It wasn't perfect dating. I don't want to sound... You know, it was good. We did have some fights. No big deal. Some of them had even become kind of physical, but it was nothing. That's frustrating. Especially when you can help a kid, but they don't want it. When you're trying to help a kid and they act like they're smarter than you. So I asked him to move in and he said yes. A bunch of damn 10-year-olds! I didn't know the guy. I thought maybe I would know him.
The second night after he moved in, I spilled a bottle of wine. It was just careless.
There was rope in the closet at the end of the hall. I could still hear them.
He hit me so hard that I blacked out. Square in the jaw, just a sharp pain and then nothing. I remember... When I woke up, he was asleep. I wasn't sure it even... Well, then I cleaned up the wine. I remember so vividly the moment I just snapped. It started to happen a lot, not the spilling. I was at my desk, the hitting. I was trying to explain photosynthesis, or at least the way you explain photosynthesis to a bunch of 10-year-olds. The plants have their leaves, and the sun shines down, bright light shining in through the curtains. My apartment faced these security lights, and it never really got dark, but he hadn't noticed until after he moved in, so this became another source of tension, something that was my fault. And as I'm trying to teach these kids something, I'm writing on the board with my back to them like this, and I get hit with something. Hit hard on my shoulder, and then again on my hip, and then again on my leg. It got so the bruises were becoming something I had to explain. Felt like a bad after-school special. But then, it seemed like most of the stuff actually could have been avoided if I had just paid more attention. It took me a second to even realize what was happening. These kids in my class, these young kids, were throwing rocks at me. And
laughing. They were laughing and grunting, and all of a sudden I realized I was clenching the rope so tight it was making my hands raw.
that was okay for a while. I mean, he was the first person I ever loved. He was everything, and you take the good with the bad, and that's how it works.
I couldn't even speak.